Hello farm members, it's an exciting week to show you everything that I got in my box today. And the first thing we should celebrate is that we have the fancy mushrooms back. These are white oyster mushrooms. They grow in kind of a hand configuration, layer upon layer. And this is the area where it's attached to the culture. So the mushroom culture is inoculated into a bag of sawdust mixed with some grain hulls and things. And when they harvest them, they cut off the end. So this end might be a little tough. It becomes tender very quickly. So just use your judgment as to where to start trimming off your mushrooms, and then enjoy using them in all of your favorite mushroom dishes. Another really fun vegetable to tell you about is the Daikon radish. These are huge. They grow in our field. They grow nice and tall. Imagine this is a cover crop. We have a whole field of these leafy radish greens, and then this long tuber is growing down into the soil. And farmers, even crop farmers that are doing no-till, are using these to break up the soil because the strong tuber will just grow down in there and slowly break apart the clay or the stones that are in there, and just aerate and allow the soil to not be so compressed, which happens easily when tractors are driving over it over and over throughout the season. But these are used in a lot of Asian cooking. It's often shredded and used in kimchi. You can use it in a shredded radish salad. You can slice it, you can dice it, you can saute it, you can throw it into stews and soups. And so you get a lot of bang for your buck, because you can use the greens and use this huge radish as well. Celeriac is a new vegetable for many of you. It is simply the root end of a stalk of celery. Now, it's going to be a different variety of celery than your main, the farm-grown celery. You can see that this one was cut off at the root, whereas this one is a variety that's developed not so much for the leaves and the stalks, but for the tuber. But you do get bonus. You can use this as an herb. You'll just want to, like all root vegetables, cut off the stems and separate them in the refrigerator in your different various bags that you're putting things in your crisper drawer, and that way they both stay fresh rather than them each trying to pull moisture from the other side. Now, you can see that these are hairy and tough around on the outside. I'm gonna use a paring knife to get all this outside stuff off, and then I'm gonna cube it up. And I think what I'm gonna do is saute all three of these that I have in my box with some butter and some garlic, and cook it until it's nice and tender, and enjoy the flavor of the celery in kind of a potato-y type of texture. That's gonna be really fun. Another way that you'll see recipes, which you definitely can look for recipes for celeriac on your own. You'll find it cooked and pureed and added to mashed potatoes or other root vegetables. And so there's a lot of great things you can do to experiment with that, or just add it into whatever dish that you're trying for a little celery flavor. We, of course, still have the seasonal sweet potatoes. We have butternut squash and spaghetti squash in my box. These are fantastic with hot Italian pork sausage from Striker Farm that I'm going to be using this week. And of course, all of these vegetables are great with sausage and with the mushrooms. I can see all kinds of possibilities here as I'm looking at everything. The green beans, I'm curious to see whether these are the last of the green beans. I've been saying that for weeks. I feel like it's gonna freeze this week and kill a lot of our tender plants. And but it's possible that some of the farms a little further south of us, they might not get hit with frost or hit with frost as hard, or they might put covers over their green beans to prevent them from being damaged by a quick frost. So it's possible that we could see green beans in a future box for you to customize and choose those, but we're not. I'm not promising anything. That might be the end of green beans for the fall. Then I have this huge head of broccoli, which will make a whole meal even for us, I think. Don't be afraid of the different colors that you see in the middle of this. This is not California grown broccoli that's perfectly blue-green all the way through. The different temperature changes from the field to harvest to a cooler can cause the changes in color to the flower buds, but there is no change in the nutrition or the freshness of this broccoli when you see these different colors, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of purple, maybe a little bit of orange. It's perfectly fine. It's just fresh farm grown broccoli brought your way. I was looking for my cabbage for this week because I just shredded up some kohlrabi and radish and turnips that were hanging around, and I started fermenting them over the weekend. And so my favorite thing to do with the outer cabbage leaves is to use them to weigh down the shredded vegetables and allow the brine to come up over the top of these tough but pliable leaves. They're not as, usually you take these and throw these out because they're not as fun to cook and eat, but they're perfect for topping your jars when you're fermenting. Then I'll put a lid over that, but it will keep the shredded vegetables from rising to the top and getting exposed to the air and possibly growing things on it. So I'm excited to see these. I love, love, love the huge storage onions that we're getting. It's just so much easier to peel and chop up the big onions than it is a whole bunch of small onions, which I still have hanging around. And then I'm getting eggs in my box. These are pastured eggs from Leroy. His chickens are out in the field most of the year. Even in the winter, they can handle a little bit of snow. They actually like that, and he puts them through his vegetable fields, and so they're picking up the bugs and the grubs and the eggs, eggs of the larvae, eggs of the different insects that have been laid, and that helps his soil and his fields be less bug-free in the fall. In the spring then, and these just have such a wonderful flavor. You're gonna enjoy making frittatas with your vegetables, with your sausage, and with all the other foods from the cheeses and the dairy that you can add into your egg dishes. Everything just goes so well together in the fall that it's really fun to cook. Don't forget to eat your fresh apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, so they say, but they're also great cooked in a lot of these dishes with your root vegetables and with your in soups with there was a recipe shared over the weekend when people were talking in the Telegram group about apple celeriac soup. There's also apple butternut squash soups. There's the wonderful kale, potato, and sausage soups. And it's soup season. Don't you just want a warm bowl of soup with some sourdough bread and maybe a fresh salad to go with it? So I hope I'm giving you ideas and getting you excited to cook with the things that are coming in your box. Be sure to always customize so you get just what you want, and we'll keep giving you options for wonderful things to get your local food from your local farmers delivered to your door just the way you like. All right, have a great week and enjoy cooking and spending time with your family.